Y'all know what time it is. Y'all don't know, y'all better ask somebody. Hat on, suit on, looking like the Dapper Dawn, giving them all dressed like $1,000,000, diamond things in its cuffs. Y'all tell me who could it be but Steve Harvey? Oh, yeah. Everybody out there listening to me, put your hands together for Steve Harvey. Put your hands together. Steve Harvey. Listen, Steve Harvey, why don't you join me? Steve Harvey, get him on, y'all. Better give me some eggs while I listen to Steve Harvey. Come on, join in with me. Come with me, help me say, turn your radio on. You gotta turn it on, yeah. Turn it on. Steve Harvey in the morning, y'all. Know y'all can get it on. Turn it up. Steve Harvey in the morning, y'all. Yeah. Turn your radio on. You gotta turn your radio on. Turn your radio on. You gotta turn it on. Turn them up, got to turn them Steve Harvey got to turn them out, got to turn them up. Steve Harvey turn them on to the morning, y'all. Come on, Steve. Come on, do your thing, Big Daddy.
I sure will. Good morning, everybody. You are listening to The Voice. Come on, dig me now. One and only, Steve Harvey. Got a radio show. Steve Harvey got a radio show. Yeah, man. Boy. Man, God has been good to me. I can't even I can't even put it into words, man. But I try, though. I try. God does things for me just right on time. He's so cool with it. And I happened to run across Joel Osteen on television, like I often do all the time. And I was sitting there, and he had such a timely message for me. A part of it was something that I've said oftentimes about if you really, really want to be successful, if you really, really want to change, if you really, really want to prosper, if you really, really want to achieve greatness, if you really, really want to have something in life that's worth having, if you really, really want to accomplish your goals, you got to push through all of it. He said that when you get closer to it, the more difficult it becomes. Did you hear me? He said the closer you get to what it is you want or you need or you have to have, or you would love to be, it gets a little bit more difficult when you get closer. He told this story that's in the Bible that I'd never heard before. This is what he said. He said there was a man who was paralyzed, and he had heard that Jesus was speaking at a house. And so he wanted to get there, so he convinced 4 of his friends to put him on a stretcher and carry him for hours to get to this house where Jesus was speaking. He said that along the way, these friends said that they went along because he had so much faith that if he could just get to him, it could be better. That he could, if he could just get over there and he could see him, that he might have a shot at getting healed. And so he said they took out along the way and they walked and they walked and they walked for hours. And then when they got there, the house was completely filled with people. There was it was packed wall to wall. There was absolutely no way for the men to get him on that stretcher in to see Jesus. This is a story that Joel Osteen said is in the Bible, and we was telling it. No, I'm just repeating the parts of it I gathered. And so he said they sat there and they went, wow, man, we walked all this way and it's full and we can't get there. He said, and then the guy with the affliction told the 4 men, if you get up on the roof and cut a hole in it and lower me down, I bet I could see him then, and I bet it'll be all right. Now, he then said, you must imagine how these 4 men must have felt when you carry somebody for hours on the way they had to carry some cloth connected by a couple of sticks. Said the men's shoulders had to be bruised, had to have deep gouges in them, not cuts, but just indentations where they had carried the weight of this grown man for so many hours. And they looked at him in disbelief, like, man, what are you talking about? We done walked all this far. He said, yeah, but if you get up on that roof and you cut a hole in it and lower me down, I can see him. And when he see me, it'll be all right. After sitting there and imploring the men, they went up and did just that. And in the story that Joel Osteen said, the man was healed. But the point he was making was, he was saying that the closer you get to what it is you really want, the more difficult it's going to become. But you've got to push through. See, if you don't push through, you never know. See, you can't get right to the answer, and because it gets really difficult, start creating those little sayings that we got as people. Well, I guess it wasn't meant to be. I guess it wasn't the Lord's will. No, man, I guess you should not give up right now. I guess you should keep pressing. I guess you should do more. Because, see, in all of us, when you've had enough, I want you to know something. You do have a little bit more. In all of us, you can do one more. You know, that's one of my favorite things, and I heard Joel Osteen say it, and it kind of made me feel good. He said, I always feel like I can do one more anything. And I tell my friends all the time, I can do one more, man. I could do one more day. I can do one more anything. Now, here was the jewel that I never really knew that Joel Osteen and God sent to me. I needed to hear. He said that no matter what you're going through, no matter how long the challenge is you've been facing, God has an end date for it all. Did you hear me? No matter what you're going through, no matter what challenge you're facing, no matter what situation you've gotten yourself into, God has an ending date. All you got to do is keep pressing forward. All you got to do is hang in there. All you got to do is don't give up. All you have to do is don't turn back. There is an end date for all of it. Even when you think you've had enough. And boy, have I had this conversation with God on several things that I've been going through. And I've even told him, look, I got it, man. He said, just keep hanging on. There is an end date to whatever it is you're going through. There's an end date to your illness, your sickness, you're tired of being tired. There's an end date to this relationship that you can't seem to get through, beyond, over. That's like a cancer to you. There's an end date, but you've got to hang in there. You've got to keep pushing forward. You cannot turn around. You must not go back, because when God gets you through this and you break through to the other side, the reward and the benefit is far greater than the struggle. I oftentimes look at some of the things that God has brought me through in my worst times. And when he brought me through, I went, wow, man. Now that I understand that, now that I'm on the other side and I have the benefit of the reward for it, would you do it all again to get there? Yes, I would.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? May I have your undivided attention, please? Yesterday was a show that we promised you ignorance. We delivered. Today's show, we are all here today. Everybody with all of their deficiencies. Shirley with her bouginess.
Whatever.
Carla with her know every damn thing attitude. Me with my subtle moments of difficulty.
Subtle. Subtle moments. Oh, that's pretty consistent. Man.
Jay, fresh out of chemo. Junior.
Is that like straight out of Compton?
Yeah.
Fresh out of
Junior.
chemo.
Sound like a T-shirt.
Cycling off sickle cell.
What?
And nephew Tommy, shout and stupid. He suffers from SNS. Shout and stupid. We are all here today. This show is dedicated to healing because all of us need to be healed from something. Welcome to the Steve Harvey Morning Show. Her bouginess, ladies and gentlemen. Shirley Strawberry.
Steve, good morning, darling. When you finish speaking, I got to get it cracking this way because...
Okay, cool. Hold on. Carla Farrell with Know Everything.
And don't you forget it. Good morning, everybody.
You won't let us.
Right.
Little sick boy. Junior boy.
Yeah, you know what? The good thing is, I ain't in there today.
Hello.
Oh, the hospital.
Chemo free.
I love it. I'm gonna make
In remission. Except when you're talking to Shirley. J. Anthony Brown.
What up, man? What up? What up?
And last but not least, suffering from a severe case of SNS.
SNS.
Stupid and short. Nephew Tommy.
I won't be short for you, Dan. Top of the morning.
And what are you again,
right, Shirley,
Steve? What are
is
you again?
Yeah.
What are you again?
Yeah.
Difficult.
I suffer from a slight case of difficulties.
Like
I ain't no
I happen to be
Like-
from time to time difficult to work with, talk to, and collaborate with.
Yeah.
So now we're just lying. Okay.
Yeah, just a little bit though. It ain't much. I eventually come around, but not at first.
Okay, so Steve, yesterday we had this strawberry letter about this woman whose brother-in-law moved into the house with her and her fiance, and he was just nasty, straight out nasty. Your response to that letter, talking about that man's feet and his behind smelling,
Man.
it just prompted
Man.
so many text messages and tweets and all of that. I'm going to read one quickly that I got. Baby, I ain't never laughed so hard at y'all morning show till this morning. He said feet and booty smell the same as lemon meringue for the roaches.
Yeah.
All right, listen, coming up at 32 minutes after, we'll see what's up with J. Anthony Brown right after this.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
All right, so J. Anthony Brown, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good, Shirley.
Mr.
Feeling real
Straight
good.
Out of Chemo.
Straight out of
Straight
chemo.
outta
Looks like
chemo.
that could be a shirt.
Hey Jay, can I ask you a serious question about
Yes,
it though?
you can. Yes, you can.
Like
Yes,
when you stop doing chemo,
Mhm.
because you've been on it for a while, is there any do you have like a withdrawal from that or anything? Cause
No,
like a
no,
drug
you
that's
just
been in your
glad as
body?
hell. That's all. They ain't
Oh,
got
you
to
glad?
your ass no more.
What you say, Jay? You just glad you ain't
You
got to
just
take
glad
it.
as hell. You ain't got to be stuck.
How would you describe the feeling though? Seriously, Jay.
Chemo
so people
is
who
not
don't
like
know what it's
chemo
like.
is not like radiation. I think the thing for chemo is that it takes your appetite. You know, it takes your appetite. It makes you nauseous. You can't eat. That's why I lost all that weight. I didn't want to eat, and you just feel sick. You just feel sick. You don't have the energy to do pretty much anything. Just sit and lay up or sit in the chair. You just can't do anything until it's over.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
but for you, when you say nauseous, you mean like did you have to throw up? Did just
Yeah, I
feel
threw
that
up.
way? What was it for you?
You threw up a couple times and a lot of restroom time. I don't know how to. We just is radio, so we
That's
have
what
to
you be doing.
Jay,
wonder
you
what you be
noticed I
doing.
haven't said one word. Not
I noticed.
You hush, Shirley.
No, I just wanted to, just get clarity because look, he's had the best attitude of anybody
Oh, yeah.
that I've ever seen going through this. Even though I've
Nice.
never been this close to anybody that was doing chemo, but for him to have the attitude that he had. And, we joke about it to, help him get through it because he would rather just laugh his way through it than be miserable. I didn't want people to think that we're not sensitive to it. It's just that's the way that Jay asked us to help him cope with it.
Right.
He would rather laugh and joke about it than sit up and be miserable. But everybody got to handle it themselves. Like everybody has different symptoms. So I just wanted to hear his perspective of how he took
It affects everybody differently. Some people lose all of their hair. I didn't lose any hair because I already had a mustache on hold. If that had happened,
We would have never known.
you would have never known. I was
You had it on layaway.
I had made payments on the mustache. I was like, Lord, you can take my eyebrows, you can take my butt hair, but don't, please, Lord, let me have my mustache.
He did.
Let me keep my butt hair.
But Jay, when you were having a bad day, you told us you were having a bad day.
Yeah.
You just said today
Well,
was
it
a
affects
bad
people
day.
differently, and like I said, one thing it affects family because families don't know what to do for somebody who's having a bad day. There's nothing you can do but leave them alone, and sometimes that affects people like, oh, he don't want to be bothered. He's just up there by himself. That's what you want to do. You just want to be alone. You just don't want to. You don't want nobody to talk to him. I tried to take him some soup.
That's
He
how
don't
they
want no
sound,
damn- It sounds just like that.
Trying to fix you some
one more
soup or
time.
what?
I try to bring him some soup, and they bring you. It's not that they bring you soup, Steve. They bring your ass a lot of damn soup.
They
Think
just
you got
wanna
the flu,
help.
Jay?
It's like foot tubs of soup. I'm like, I'm not gonna eat all that damn soup.
and with a lid on it. Huh?
With a lid on it. Now put this in the refrigerator. You'll have soup for a month. I'm not eating that. bless her heart. This lady who brought me some soup, man, and it had stuff in there that you just when you see okra and chicken and carrots and when you look at
That's
it,
a
you're
stew.
yeah, I can't eat that. I can't eat that, man. So,
Do you understand? I feel like throwing up. Now, this okra.
In the soup.
Oh, I love okra.
Okra is not a settle your stomach food.
but it's not.
Slimy.
I,
It's slimy.
Oh, I love okra
yeah,
too.
I love
Fried
okra.
Ooh, I
and
love me some.
Yeah.
I
Oh, I
love
love
okra
okra.
fried, and I
Oh,
love
man.
it
Me
with
too.
tomatoes, onions.
Yes.
Ah,
Churches.
Pickled,
churches
I
got
don't
okra.
care. I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
it.
no.
yeah.
I like it slimy. I don't care.
I do
love
too.
it.
Me
Yeah,
too.
I'm with you, Shirley. Yeah.
With some rice.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yes, Lord.
Yeah.
Yes, girl.
Okra and rice.
Yes,
What?
sir.
Somebody must be country in the group. There must be
Huh.
somebody.
A bunch of us.
Yeah. All
Yes.
of it. Except Shirley.
With some rice and some shrimp and some.
Oh
I
man.
never
yeah.
had it with rice, but okay.
You never had it with rice.
okra and rice.
You never had it with rice?
Excuse me. Excuse me.
What?
No,
you
I
never had
haven't.
okra and
Sorry.
rice, Shirley?
You never
No,
had
I
okra and
haven't.
rice?
I've
Oh,
never
Shirley.
had it like that. No.
Oh.
Unc, I motion for a survey for the people we work with.
I've never had
Okay,
it
go
like
ahead.
that. I like
I
it, but
motion
I've
we
never
take
had
her
it like that.
NAACP.
I'm gonna should we take a
Whatever.
black card, right? We get a black
We
card.
need
right?
the card.
We need that card.
Yeah. You never had oxtails? You never had okra and rice? Where did you go?
Have you ever had chicken feet, Shirley?
No, Jay.
Oh, no.
Turkey neck.
Nah, I've never had
Turkey
that.
neck?
Jay.
No.
I've
Turkey neck?
Why are y'all? Why? Why are y'all asking her bougie ass
No.
anything?
Okay,
Anyway.
last
I
one.
ain't never
last one.
had no damn
Chitlins?
chicken
Chitlins?
necks.
Yes, of course. I know about those.
Did
Yeah,
you have
chicken.
them?
No. She said. He said, "Did you have any?"
No.
He didn't say, "Have you
Sorry.
heard them?"
No. I didn't like the smell. Sorry.
Wow.
Well, I can understand that though.
Well, you know, that stopped
Yeah,
me
that's
from
My
a lot of
family would
stuff.
have cussed you out.
But for
If
real.
it was just the smell, I'd stop eating a lot of stuff. But go right ahead, y'all.
Dun dun dun.
So now you're you're cancer free. You're done.
I'm cancer free. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
My
And
man.
what do you do now? What do you do now? You can eat normally. Everything's back to
Well,
normal.
I stopped eating meat. I stopped eating meat, beef and pork. I don't eat that anymore. Sometimes I eat fish.
My man.
Chicken?
Yeah.
No chicken?
You gotta have chicken, Steve.
Thank you.
Like how can you? That's like how you gonna not eat chicken?
All right, coming up, nephews. Thank you, guys. Run that prank back right after this.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
Coming up at the top of the hour, guys, in entertainment news, Whitney Houston's BFF, Robyn Crawford. Well, she's telling her story now, and tell me something good. Good news, LeBron James is building temporary housing for school families. That is absolutely
That's
good
great,
news.
man.
We're going to
off
tell
the
you about
chain.
we're going to tell you about these stories at the top of the hour. But right now, the nephew in the building with Run That Prank Back. What you got for us, Nav?
Choir director antics.
It's gonna
Choir
be good.
director antics. Let's take it to the
Going
choir.
to be good.
All rise. Let's go.
Hello? Hello, I'm trying to reach Lorenzo. Lorenzo, please. Speaking. That's who's calling. Hi, this is, I'm Bernard. I'm giving you a call on behalf of Missionary Baptist Church and doing a follow-up, actually. You've been the choir director there. Right. For what, is it close to 6 years now? 5.5 years, yes. Okay. And from my understanding, you're doing a great job. Everyone seems to love what you're doing on Sunday mornings, which is definitely a blessing for the entire congregation. Right. So what I was giving you a call on is there seems to be a bit of discrepancy with some of the antics that is going on when you are directing the choir on Sunday mornings. Antics? Say again now? Yeah, come again? You said antics? Well, some of the members. Wait, who are you? Once again, I said my name is Bernard, and I'm actually calling on behalf. Bernard what? What's your last name? Sir, I'm not actually a member of. But I've been asked to give you a call and bring some things to your attention and deliver the news that the church would like for you to have. Okay. So what news is that? Well, let me get back to where I was. I was stating that some people in the congregation are actually having a problem with your antics when you're directing the choir, different things that they're not happy with. It is a sorrowful moment, I should say, for me to have to come to you and tell you that, as of today, which is Sunday, we're going to have to ask you to step down as the minister of music. Hold on one second. Maybe I'm not hearing you correctly. You have a problem with the Holy Spirit getting a hold of me? Sir, I direct the choir? Well, it's not necessarily, it's not the Holy Spirit at all. You can shout all day. That has nothing to do with it. I guess just different antics that you have, that the congregation is just not. I need you to be a little more clear on what you're saying. Antics. Please tell me what you're saying. Sir, is it that my hair's too long? Is it that I look too cute when I'm in the choir? What is it? Sir, I don't want to be the one to go tick for tack with you. Like I said, I'm not a member. No, I want you to say it. Please say it. Gordon, they fired me. They fired me today. I want you to say it, and I want to know if the pastor hired me, why didn't he fire me? Well, it's kind of like a business, It's the higher ups really keep their hands clean on these type of things. And there's always someone that has to deliver the message, and you know what, and I understand that, but I want you to explain to me what antics. Please tell me. Please tell me. Sir, listen, I'm not going to sit here. No. You call to deliver the news. I need to know what antics. Okay. Are you wearing different hairstyles every other Sunday? Is your hair just completely different? I go to the damn beauty shop every Saturday morning. I want to look cute just like everybody else want to look cute on Sunday morning. Yes, I do. Right. You got a problem with that? Sir, like I said, I'm just a messenger. I don't have a problem with what you're doing. Well, who had a problem with it? Evidently, people. Probably some of them helpers in there that I'm looking better than. Okay. Let me go ahead and ask you something else. Are you wearing blue contact lenses? I had on gray today. My damn suit was gray, so I had on gray. Tonight, when I was going back for the musical, I was going to have on green. You was going to wear green? What's going on? Sir, Lorenzo, you were going to wear green contact lenses?
You damn skippy.
Okay, well, are they prescribed?
They prescribed if I bought them.
See, sir, Lorenzo, these are the type of antics that they're talking about.
So, y'all, I want you to see it. I want you to see it. Don't say it. Please say it.
I didn't.
Say it.
That never was stated, Lorenzo.
But you asked me about my contacts. You asked me about my hair.
Right, but I didn't ask you about anything else, though, Lorenzo.
Well, I just want you to get to the point, please, sir. Please. So, are you representing the church or what? Are you in the HR department? I don't understand.
I actually speak on behalf of Pastor.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, you tell to call me himself, because I'm going to show up at the musical tonight, and I'm going to have my green contacts on with my green suit.
Lorenzo, I'm asking you now not to show up for the actual musical tonight.
And if I show up, what's going to happen?
You definitely won't be.
What's going to happen if I show up? Y'all going to put me out?
We can't put you out of the Lord's house, but you won't be playing or participating in the musical.
Y'all trying to crucify me.
Ain't nobody's trying to crucify you.
Yeah, y'all trying to crucify me.
Okay, you know what? I'm not going to go back and forth.
I'm too cute for all of y'all. That's what the problem is.
Hey, look, I don't have all day. I'm passing on the message, and that's clear. I'm just letting you understand that your job is completely terminated at this point. Is that understood?
Hell no. I'm coming to the program tonight, and I'm going to turn that I've been a member there for 5.5 years, and we're going to do it right. I'll let you know who I am. Wait. This is what all this is all about.
It's about your antics. That's your antics.
My antics.
This is what the congregation is talking about. Did you just hear what you said?
You gotta talk to me face to face. Y'all pointing fingers at me?
Sir, I'm not pointing the finger at you, sir.
Yeah, you pointing them at me. I tell you what, hold on one second. I'm gonna call.
Wait just a minute. I got one more thing to say before you do that. Are you listening to me?
Yeah, I'm listening to you.
Sir, you're not going to talk to me in that tone. Are you listening?
You done called and disrespected me with my answer.
I got one more thing I want to say to you. Are you listening?
I'm listening.
This is Nephew Tommy from the Steve Harvey Morning Show. You just got pranked by your entire mass choir.
What? Nephew who?
This is Nephew Tommy from the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
Lord have mercy. Let me hang up my house, folks. I'm calling Pastor right now. You laughing? I want to know who put you up to.
You all right, man?
Hell no, I ain't all right. I got to get ready for this damn program tonight.
Well, Lorenzo, look here. Turn it out, because they tell me you know how to turn a church out on Sunday morning.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
You all right?
I need you to call me before you ask. That's what you need to do.
Okay, man. I got one more question for you. What is the baddest, I'm talking about the baddest radio show in the land?
The Steve Harvey Morning Show. That's Thursday night every morning.
There you have it right there. That is choir director antics right there. That's what that is.
That's great.
All right.
All right, thank you, Nev. Coming up at the top of the hour, entertainment and national news right after this.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
Well, first in today's entertainment news, Whitney Houston's BFF, Robyn Crawford. We all remember her from back in the day when Whitney first started. She's now saying she had a physical relationship with Whitney. Robyn, who made the revelation in her book, A Song for You, My Life with Whitney Houston, says she met the then 16-year-old Whitney back in 1980 at a summer camp and that their friendship quickly turned physical and romantic. Robyn told NBC News in a new interview it wasn't planned, it's just something that happened. Over the next 2 years, Robyn explains Whitney told her they had to stop seeing each other as she felt it would sink her music career. And on top of that, Robyn says there was family pressure.
People heard that. People seen that. People don't care.
Yeah. I mean, I know I didn't. I was 2.
Yeah,
That's an old rumor anyway.
That's an old rumor,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So she's coming
Still
out
the
with
best
it.
I ain't
singer
never
ever.
heard it, and I have never heard it before, and do not
you
give a damn.
No.
And that's her truth. And
A lot of
she
people
feels like
agree
now's
with
the
you,
time.
Steve.
Yeah.
And if it is, so what?
No.
And that's another thing. So what?
And they're saying, why now, you know?
Yeah, why?
Because it's a money-making opportunity. It ain't got nothing to do with my truth. You can tell your truth. You could have been told your truth. There's a way to make money now. Come on, man. I don't care what you do. That's your business. But now all of a sudden, you need to sell books. So now here comes the story.
There's a time for
everything.
everything.
Put it hey, your truth could have been free on the internet. You ain't had to put it in a book that's for sale.
Could have Skyped it. Text.
Hello.
Yeah.
If it's
Instagram.
truth you want to tell, you can tell it now. Instagram.
Yeah.
Church.
Go to the altar.
Oh,
Take it to the altar.
Is there anyone here that has anything to say? I do.
Yes, I have something to confess. I've been given a lot of soup lately, and I'm just tired of it. Just so much soup, Pastor. So much soup.
Hey, man, did you see that thing that went viral? This lady stood up in testimonial and was in church and started talking about her sexual escapades. Graphically, but graphically though.
Yes.
Boy, I was hollering. Because the dude that gave her the mic, he went, God, dog.
Trying to grab that.
But how would you know that she's going to say something?
You have no idea what they're going to say. You don't know.
Yeah, so.
No, that's why I need a screening process.
A lot of churches, they make sure that the deacon or whatever holds the mic just so
you got to hold that mic. Don't ever
you
give
hold that
mic.
Don't give your mic up. Yeah.
You can't get that mic
Don't
up. That's
never
the
give
first
your
rule
mic
of
up.
showbiz. Do not give your mic up, right?
Oh, and back to Robyn Crawford. She also writes of Whitney's crush on Eddie Murphy, saying she was interested in Eddie, but he was elusive, and that Eddie did call Whitney to tell her she was making a mistake marrying Bobby Brown. So there you go. That's all in her book.
All this now.
It's all in her book.
She done it all, ain't she?
Wow. I know Eddie like,
Everybody told her that.
What, Steve?
That ain't news.
Everybody told her.
Everybody told her that. That ain't no damn
Now, that
deal.
part she ain't lying about.
Yeah.
She telling the truth.
I said it,
You
and
said
we
it.
ain't even friends.
Eddie Murphy, Bill Murphy, David Murphy, Kenny Murphy, all of them.
That's funny, Steve. Everybody told her that.
All right, guys.
Jones.
We love you, Bobby. We love you, Bobby. We love
Oh,
you.
yeah.
You know
Definitely. Love Bobby Brown.
But we did say it, though.
True. That's our truth. That's our truth, Jay. That'll be in our book. Yeah. All right. Time for today's headlines, too. Let's get to it, Steve.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Ann Tripp.
Thank you very much, everybody, and good morning. This is Ann Tripp with the news, everybody. The public phase of the House impeachment inquiry into President Trump begins in earnest next week, with the House Intelligence Committee holding public hearings with a number of American diplomats. The president suspected of trying, of course, to strong-arm Ukrainian officials into investigating Joe Biden and his son Hunter with the threat of the loss of very valuable military aid. In the transcript of his earlier testimony, by the way, to House impeachment investigators, a Deputy Assistant Secretary of State named George Kent discusses his concerns about how President Trump and his personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, were trying to force Ukraine into launching an investigation into Joe and Hunter and to make a big announcement about it. Chicago's head of police, Eddie Johnson, says he's retiring after more than 3 years as Chi-Town superintendent of police. Johnson took the job during an especially violent chapter in Chicago's history and amid the public outcry over that release of that video showing the outright murder of a black teenager named Laquan McDonald by a white cop who shot him 16 times and then tried to claim that he did it because he felt threatened, despite the fact that the video shows Laquan walking away from him and not toward him. Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson oversaw a significant drop in violent crime, all the while hearing the president berate him and his town. So Johnson refused to attend last week's Top Cop confab in Chicago. Of course, his absence didn't go unnoticed.
Taking a toll on my health.
More than anyone else, this person should be here because maybe he could learn something. And that's the superintendent of Chicago Police, Eddie Johnson. Here's a man that could not bother to show up for a meeting of police chiefs, most respected people in the country, in his hometown, and with the President of the United States. And you know why? It's because he's not doing his job.
Well, Chief Johnson says he did do his job and at great personal cost.
Taking a toll on my health, my family, my friends, but my integrity remains intact. And I'm proud of what the department has accomplished during my tenure.
Chief Johnson passed out during a press conference 2 years ago, admitted to health problems and had to undergo a kidney transplant. He is ill. In Louisiana, authorities say that a white woman was fatally shot after charging at a black police officer with scissors, calling him the N-word. And the officer, Patrick Edmonds Jr., has been cleared of any wrongdoing once folks saw the tape. Funerals have begun in Mexico for the victims of what police feel was a gangland shooting of 3 American women and 6 children in a horrific case, they say, of mistaken identity. Today, National Cook Something Good Day.
Today, we're going to do some oven-roasted chicken wing. Good. We got some soy sauce.
Now back to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
Well, Jay is here. We're so happy when you're here with us, Jay. That means you're healthy and good.
Yeah.
And Jay, I don't know where you find the time, but apparently you've written another book.
Another book, yes.
What is this, your 8th?
What was that? What was that, Tommy? What was that?
How many books you got, Jay? How many books you got? Did you just blow your lips?
I love that. I love
about
it.
11. I got about 11 books.
Oh, it's 11 now. Okay.
About 11.
Wow.
But this is my newest book. This is my newest book. While I was in chemo, I put this together. The name of the book is very catchy. You'll catch on to Sometimes Kinfolks Ain't Worth a Damn, or you can use the S word. That's the title of the book.
One more time.
Sometimes Kinfolks Ain't Worth a Damn, or you can use the S word. So
that's in the title, too.
That's the title of the book, and there's several chapters in there that everybody who has kinfolks can relate to in this
Come on, boy.
My new book called Sometimes Kinfolks Ain't Worth a Damn, or you can use the S word. Chapter 1. Just because you got a big house, they think they can show up and stay for free. That's chapter 1. That's chapter 1.
Get it cracking.
Oh, man. Chapter 2, I kind of get into some personal stuff. Like, they think your house is storage. Let me put something in your garage for a couple of days. I mean, it's been in there 8 months now, and it ain't moved. You know, it's an old car that's covered
forgot
up.
about it.
I don't even know what it is myself. I didn't lift it up. I don't know that. Chapter 3. Okay, this is if you have a big house. Kinfolk get confused in my new book. Sometimes kinfolk ain't worth a damn, and you can use the S word. They think you're the daddy. What they don't understand is you're the granddaddy, not the daddy. You're the granddaddy. Yeah. Some of those problems
this book is personal.
This is personal.
Yes.
Some of those problems need to go to the daddy, not the granddaddy. Okay? They need to go right to the daddy. Okay?
Right.
This is a good chapter. If you, my new book called Sometimes Kinfolks Ain't Worth a Damn, or you can use the S word. They think you a bad guy if you don't babysit. I don't babysit, okay? I smoke things. I do things that shouldn't be around kids. And when you come back, he gonna have a whole different attitude if you leave him here, okay? If he's here, he gonna be he gonna be hungry, he gonna be sleepy, okay?
Yeah.
You gonna come pick up a little Atticus, what you gonna do?
He gonna do what you do.
In my new book, sometimes kinfolk going with a damn, or you can use the S word. They think you a finance company. That's my book. There's several chapters in there to be out soon. Sometimes kinfolk going with a damn, or you can use the S word. Check it out, my new book. Yeah.
Well, I think that's gonna be a bestseller.
It's gonna be. It's gonna be. It's gonna be. Thank you.
Yeah. I love it, Jay.
All right, coming up at 34 after the hour. Thank you, Jay. Still
Anytime.
trending. T.I. is facing backlash about some of his parenting choices. We're going to talk about that right after this.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
Well, T.I.'s entire family turned into a trending topic when he revealed a very questionable parenting strategy. Tip talked on the Ladies Like Us podcast about the length he goes to help make sure his 18-year-old daughter Deja remains a virgin. T.I. says that he and his daughter take yearly trips to the gynecologist to check her hymen to see if it's still intact. T.I. is still facing some backlash on social media for his comments, and people are saying T.I. is controlling. Or would he give the same scrutiny to one of his sons of the same age?
That's going to be different.
So, and why is that different? It's a double standard. So do you guys, all of you guys, have daughters, with the exception of you, of course, Junior?
Yeah.
So there's a double standard of parenting boys and girls, and there always has been. What do you guys think?
That's a lot. I mean, that is...
The conversation with my son is totally different from the conversation with my daughter.
You have with your daughter, right?
I'm very protective of her, so that's going to be different. Not that I'm not protective of my son. That's two different conversations.
Yeah. And that's the whole point of the question, the double standard.
Because sometimes men have the attitude that they applaud little boys or boys in terms of their escapades, and then very protective of girls. So it is a double standard. Yeah.
And why is that?
I couldn't tell you. It started long before me, Shirley. So
and why is that? And do you think that?
Yeah, I didn't just start it.
I don't.
Go ahead.
You know, I don't know. I don't really care about what comment T.I. made. I really don't.
So those are his daughters.
I kind of took it as a tongue-in-cheek type thing he was doing. But if it is the reality of what he does, I mean,
that's his
who am I? Who am I? You know, that's how he chooses to parent. But, you know, you can't watch them always, and, you know, they're going to leave the house. And when they leave the house, they're going to make decisions, man. And and to the best of your parenting ability, what I've had to learn over the years is when one of my kids make a mistake, I also remember the fact of how many I made.
Yes.
I think of how many I made, and then I immediately start to understand that they're going to make them too. And they can go against the very best of your parental skills and teachings.
You're right.
They just making that decision, and there's nothing you could do about it. So I'm not really mad at what T.I. said at all. You know, I've never done that, but, you know, if that's his thing, man, I mean, go ahead.
Can I speak on behalf of a lot of ignorant men, maybe? Who is Hyman? Who is Hyman? Who is he? Who is Hyman?
I thought I couldn't be topped that stupid, boy. That boy that stepped up in there now.
But he's on your team. He's the president and
He
CEO
on my team.
of your team.
Who is this guy Hyman? And what is he doing in the room?
Some of us need to go back to health class.
He missed that whole week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man. The daughters are different, partner. The daughters are different. Hands off.
Oh, yeah. You just
and
feel
all you young
differently
men
about
that's
your
listening, all young men that's listening, I'm ready to put the orange jumper on any day it go down. I'm just letting you know. I'm ready to put the jumper on.
And is that because you guys are guys and you know what you're thinking about these
we know
young
what we
ladies
did.
as to
We know
why
what we did.
You know what you did as to why you don't want her dealing or your daughters dealing with guys at that age?
There's not a guy that
Steve.
my daughter was with that you didn't look at him like, what's up with you? Like, really, what's up with you? Till you figure out
I
what's
mean, look,
going on.
we know what all of them want anyway when they come over to the house. We already know what you want. All this, I love your daughter. No, you don't. Not like I do. So I already know what you want. And my job is just to make it, when they lived at home, my job was to make it as difficult for them. I was not easy. You don't feel welcome over at his house. You know. So if y'all downstairs kissing real hard, you're gonna be doing it with a lot of nervous tension.
Kissing real hard.
Yeah, it's gonna be tight. Yeah, it's gonna be tight. You're gonna chip your tooth trying to break away.
All right, guys. Well, thank you. You can post your comments on parenting and double standards and all that at Steve Harvey FM.
Who is
on Facebook and Instagram. Coming up next, today's prank phone call with the nephew right after this.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
Coming up at the top of the hour, right about 4 minutes after, it's my strawberry letter for today. The subject, living with another man's wife. We're going to get to the prank call in a moment with the nephew, but you guys had more to speak on this T.I. double standard situation that we were discussing earlier.
Look, I think T.I. is damned if he do and damned if he don't.
Right.
You know, people always got something to say about something. If a man taking his daughter down to the gynecologist, he's controlling, he's insensitive. Yeah, I think he is being controlling. I mean, how else do you help keep a grip on the situation?
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of us as men, we know what the boy wants when he come over, and doggone it, like, look, man, until them girls move out the house, I made it as hard as I possibly could on every boy that came to the house. I know what you want, partner.
Yeah, because I've been you.
I know exactly what you in here for. My job is to be the gatekeeper.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say to you, partner.
And how many fathers that aren't there at all? You know, he's there with his daughter.
Man, y'all get mad at T.I. because he there.
He's doing what he
He's
thinks
an active
is right.
father.
Mm-hmm.
He and his kids' lives. Now, if you think that's too much, you have the right to think it's too much. But I tell you what, I'd rather parent be too much than absent.
Oh, absolutely, Steve. Yeah, at least you
dropped the
here.
mic on that one. There it is.
And not only am I the gatekeeper, there's cameras on these gates and all around this house. So
I don't miss a moment.
I'm just letting you know. I'm
Chateau
watching.
surveillance.
Before you pull up, there's a camera on this gate, partner.
I love it.
Yeah.
Let's go, nephew.
All right, nephew.
All right,
what
let's
you
get
got?
it, baby. Lunchtime date. Here's the prank of the day. Lunchtime date. Let's go, cat dog.
Hello? Hey, I'm trying to speak to Alan.
Yeah, this is Alan. Who's this?
Hey, Alan. Yo, this is Derek, man. Check this out, bro. You are Rachel's husband, right?
Yeah, that's my baby. What's up? Something wrong?
No. I work. Like I said, this is Derek, man. I work with your wife, Rachel.
Right. You a supervisor or something? I mean, is this about work or something? I mean, she doing a good job and everything. She ain't about to get fired.
No. Everything's straight, man. Ain't nothing wrong with the job. Everything's cool with the job. This right here, man, is like what I noticed, man, and it's, you know, it just seems like every single day, you know, while she's on her lunch break, it seems like, you know, you would call and then block up the whole hour of her lunch break. And actually, you know, just be real, man. I'm just trying to come correct with you. It just seemed like you just cut in on all the time that I have with her.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Whoa. Hold up, homie. Hold up, bro. Wait. What the are you doing at lunch with my lady, son?
Like I say, you know, we just spending time, you know, doing lunchtime, but it just seems so rude, you know, that
rude. You okay? First of all, that's my lady. Okay, I can call her whenever the I feel like calling her. I pay for that phone bill. I bought that iPhone 5. I could get call whenever I please. All right. Secondly, you ain't got no business being with a married woman alone at lunch. This ain't no date. Y'all supposed to be at work.
No, we are at work. We like I say, we co-workers, you know. But it seemed like half the whole time I'm sitting in front of her, you know, we're supposed to be having lunch together, and she talking to you the whole time.
Okay, what's your name again, bro?
My name's Derek.
Derek, all right, Derek, you work at the same building now? Okay, you at work right now, huh?
Yeah, I'm here at the job.
Y'all work in the same floor? Because I'm finna come see you. You things about to jump off way different for you, straight up.
Okay, so, dog, let me ask you something, man. What is the big deal? I'm just trying to. Okay, you act like you don't see her. You act like you don't see her when she get home. You know, so why is it so important that you waste a whole hour of lunchtime holding her down?
I ain't wasting my. I'm talking to my lady. Okay, you understand that? Why don't you go out there and get, and then you ain't got to worry about sitting up in front of my lady. That's my wife. I walk down the aisle with that. We got kids. We got a house. We take care of this. She helped me hold it down. And this, you ain't. You know, it's like you who don't ever want to come in and do, but they got always want to come in and somebody else's wife. And why don't you do this? Take this advice and see how it works for you. Go to club, church, library, grocery store, wherever the find your at, and you get you a chick. You date her for a minute. You court her for a minute. You romance her for a minute. That's what real men do, you know what I'm saying? That's what I did. That's how I got my Rachel. That's my heart. You trying to sit up there in front of lunch with her every day for the past year? I tell you what, bro. It may not be today. It may not be tomorrow, but soon you're going to see me. Me and you going to have none of this phone conversation. It's going to be a face-to-face.
Hey, dude. All of hey, man. What? I ain't trying to come between y'all at all.
No,
dog.
you don't hear that.
Okay, like I'm saying, I'm not trying to come between y'all. I'm just saying it's every day you calling, man. What do you want?
That's my wife supposed to talk to every goddamn day. That's what a real do. You don't know about that because you ain't no real. All you know about is trying to holler at some
street. You don't know what it is to put in work like a real man do, to actually hold down a home, pay the bills, everything, the family, the kids, and fixing the yards and fences. And you don't know nothing about that. All you know about is being a roach. Wife can't even go to work without like you trying to step to her and don't make no goddamn sense. But that's okay. Like I promise you, I'm going to be there. You're going to see me, and I'm going to see you. You know, I tell you what, this is how this going to go. It may not be tonight, but it's definitely not going to go past tomorrow. Between now and then, you're going to see me, and I'm going to see you. And I can
Hold on.
promise
Say,
you
what
that
What'd you say?
heard me. It's gonna, I will come see your by tomorrow, son. Me and you, Derek. That's your name, right? Derek.
My name is Derek, yes.
You gonna always want to be both smiley face in my wife's face. I'm going to deal with Rachel when I see her. You can please believe that. Please believe that. Talk to her about her little friend at lunch and like that. How get my number anyway, man?
I got your number out of Rachel's phone, but that's besides the point, man.
Doing about my phone, my y'all ain't that cool. I don't think I ain't never heard of no Dereks before today, and all of a sudden you calling me talking about you was at lunch every day with my wife and you.
No, it's a friendly lunch date, is what it is.
Friendly, nigga, I know about how you is do friendly. I know about all that. You ain't fooling me. I know like you who prey on married women all the time because they like you. But that, like I said, it's gonna change. Promise you.
Okay, Doug. Here's what you don't know. What you don't know is Tommy be pushing up on her more than me.
Tommy, who the Tommy?
Tommy is always pushing up on her. What? Tommy the one you need to be worried about.
You and Tommy. Who the Tommy? Any
Dog. Nephew Tommy, man. Check this out. This is Nephew Tommy from the Steve Harvey Morning Show. Your wife Rachel got me to prank phone call you.
Oh, I can't believe y'all did this to me, man. Oh, man, I was gonna come down there for real.
You alright, man?
Man, I am now. I was gonna, I was gonna come burn that building down. You don't even know. Right, all right, Pete, Tommy, this is my prediction. Somebody gonna you up. For real. Y'all, you play too much, man. Y'all tripping.
Hey, man, check it out. You got to tell me this, man. What is the baddest radio show in the land?
Only the Steve Harvey Morning Show, man. Of course.
All right, let me get this in here. The Comedy Laugh Fest is coming your way. Comedy Laugh Fest, all right? That's December 27th all the way through the 31st. The 27th is at Eagle Bank Arena. That's the DMV, baby. D.L. Hughley, Eddie Griffin, Dion Cole, Tommy Davidson, and hosted by yours truly, Nephew Tommy. On the 28th, Chicago, Illinois, Wintrust Arena, Cedric the Entertainer, D.L. Hughley, Eddie Griffin, Dion Cole, and hosted by that one, Nephew Tommy. That's the 27th and 28th. Go to my website, thomasmiles.com. And you can see we coming to Atlanta. We're going to New Orleans and ending it up New Year's Eve, Houston, Texas, baby. thomasmiles.com. Get all the details. I'm with the big boys.
All right, those will be great shows. Coming up in the Strawberry Letter, subject living with another man's wife. We'll get into it right after this.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
Time now for today's Strawberry Letter. And if you need advice on relationships, dating, work, sex, parenting, and more, please submit your Strawberry Letter to Steve Harvey FM and click Submit Strawberry Letter. We could be reading your letter live on the air, just like we're going to read this one right here, right now, today. Yeah.
Buckle up and hold on tight. We got it for you. Here it is, the Strawberry Letter.
Thank you, nephew. Subject, living with another man's wife. Dear Steve and Shirley, I've been married a little over a year now, and this is my second marriage. Since the wedding, my husband and I have been searching for a new church home that we mutually agreed on. We visited churches and settled at a church close to our home with a good, stern pastor. We loved his preaching style and felt really welcome there until one Sunday when the pastor's message was so crazy that it sent my husband into a frenzy. The pastor preached about marriage and stated that anyone that has been married more than once is going straight to hell if the person gets remarried, the new spouse is going to hell too. Pastor said that God only recognizes one marriage and there is no such thing as divorce, ever. My husband took the message literally, and on the way home, he said the pastor was speaking directly from the Bible. I showed my husband the exact scripture in the Bible, and it didn't say anything about anyone burning in hell. Even still, my husband believed what the pastor said, and he told me he had a bad feeling about me on our wedding day, so that must have been why. I was blindsided because I thought our marriage was great and he was happy with me. My husband's distanced himself from me and we stopped having any type of intimacy. I refused to go back to the church, but my husband loves it. The final straw was last week when he came home and said the pastor asked him if he was still living with another man's wife. I gave my husband an ultimatum to either leave the church or leave our home. Because of this wacky pastor, my marriage is in shambles. I want to get my marriage back on track, but I don't know how. Is this worth fighting for, or is my husband losing his mind like the pastor? Please help. Well, I mean, this is only worth... Huh?
This is a good-ass letter.
Yeah, this is a good letter. This is a really good letter. You ask if this is worth fighting for. I say it's worth fighting for if you want to save your marriage. You said you want to set your marriage back on track. The problem is you can't be the only one fighting in a two-person marriage. You just can't. Your husband doesn't seem to want anything like that. He has distanced himself from you. You've stopped having any type of intimacy. Your husband loves this church with this crazy pastor, and the pastor is all up in your marriage too. You were right to give your husband an ultimatum in this case, either leave the church or leave your home. And your marriage is in shambles because your husband is following this pastor and not following God as he should and as the Bible states. So is this worth fighting for? I would say no at this point because your husband even said he had a bad feeling about you on his wedding day. Wow. All right. This is not good, okay, for any marriage that's trying to survive. This is not good. Your husband needs to be with this pastor, apparently, in this church, because that sounds like where he wants to be and not with you in this marriage and fighting for this marriage. I don't think you have anything to fight for here. Steve?
Wow. This letter right here, this is just not good. You've been married a little over a year now. This is your husband's second marriage. And this is my husband's second marriage. We've been searching for a new church home. We mutually agreed upon. I guess so y'all both met the pastor here and thought it was cool to the sermon. We loved his preaching style. It felt really good until one Sunday the pastor's message threw your husband into something. The pastor told about marriage and stated that anybody that's been married more than once is going straight to hell. This part of the letter affected me deeply.
Wait. Yes.
This part of the letter affected me deeply. And I can't go on right now. Because this pastor said and stated that anyone that has been married more than once is going straight to hell. That's messed up, Pastor.
Yeah.
That's messed up. Because right now, 3 of us on this show is gone.
Hey,
we
how
out
do you think
here.
I felt? Yeah. I've been divorced.
Shirley, no, that's why I thought it was just 3 of us that's been married more than once. Me, you, and Jay. So we gone.
Yes.
That's disheartening.
It's
as hard as I'm trying to be a better person and a better Christian, now you done told me I don't care what I do, I'm going to hell. So there is no forgiveness. There's no mercy. There's no grace. There is no he died for our sins.
Right.
It ain't none of that. All of y'all has been married more than once, going straight to hell.
Hellhound.
Hellbound.
Well, I want to say that's all I got for this letter, but I got to do some more. Straight to hell. Pastor said that God only recognizes one marriage and there is no such thing as divorce. Okay, cool. Let's say God only recognizes one marriage. Can I pick the one he look at?
I'm with you on that one, Steve, when you're right. Yeah. Let's go. All right, listen, just hold it right there, Steve. We'll have part 2 of your response coming up at 23 minutes after the hour. Subject, living with another man's wife, coming up right after this.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
All right, Steve, come on. Let's recap today's Strawberry Letter. Woo! I guess we're in hell right now. Subject, living with another man's wife.
Living with another man's wife. Here's this woman been married to this man a little over a year. And they struggled trying to find themselves a nice little church home, so they finally found one that they agreed on and settled at church close to their house. A good, stern pastor. We loved his preaching style. It said it felt really welcome there. Until one Sunday, the pastor message was so crazy, sent your husband into a frenzy. The pastor preached about marriage and stated that anybody that has been married more than once is going to hell, and if the person gets remarried, the new spouse is going to hell too.
Ooh.
Oh, well, damn.
You can't get past it, Steve.
Yeah, well, damn, dog.
Well, damn.
Man, I'm just sitting here. You know, I done let him into my life, my heart. You know, I'm feeling pretty strong about myself, getting myself together spiritually. And you just told me I'm going to hell anyway. Well, Pastor, that's where you're wrong, because you don't know about God's mercy. His acts of forgiveness, and you don't think that he puts into account the fact that we make mistakes, that people have a chance to get over their mistakes. Well, your husband took the message literally, and on the way home, he said the pastor was speaking directly from the Bible. I showed my husband the exact scripture in the Bible. It didn't say anything about anybody burning in hell. Even still, my husband believed that the pastor said he told me he had a bad feeling about me on our wedding day. I'll be damned.
Influence.
But they've been married over a year.
He told his wife, after going to this crazy church, I had a bad feeling about us on that wedding day.
That's why you don't follow man.
And then said, so that must have been why. I was blindsided because I thought our marriage was great. He was happy with me. My husband distanced himself from me, and we stopped having any type of intimacy. I refused to go back to the church, but my husband loves it. Final straw. I got to tell you something, man. The relationship you just do, it don't seem real healthy ain't the word for it. I just think he... Can I tell you what I think?
Yes.
I think your husband was just looking for an out.
Oh, man.
I think he was just looking for an out. I think he was unhappy and found a way. He listened to the pastor that said, if you've been in one argument and you've remarried, you're going to hell. Now, that's alarming. So, but there you have it. That's it. I can't really say anything because it doesn't make any sense. What church is this?
Get out.
Yeah.
I don't know what church this is.
It's the wrong church, man. God is a forgiving God. Even with his commandments, he's still a forgiving God.
Yes, and we're under grace.
I just don't believe that a person can make a mistake, ask for forgiveness, recover, and now you can't go to heaven because you've been married more than once? Man,
you know how crowded
technically, I'd have been in hell a long time ago.
Yeah.
Jay on his
So,
way down.
can I ask
Me
a
since
question?
2007.
I have a question. If you get married more than once and you're going to hell, does your exes go to hell too? Because I told them to go to hell when we got divorced. I do remember those words coming out.
They'll be there when you get there, Jay.
Yeah.
They'll be there when
so
you
I
get
should
there.
meet them
They're
there.
holding you a
should,
seat.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just clearing it up.
Yeah.
You have any idea with this new breaking news how crowded hell finna be now?
Okay.
It's gonna be some pastors down there.
It's gonna be some.
No, Tommy.
But her
Tommy,
husband
it's gonna be a lot of pastors down there. I know a lot of pastors that's gotten divorces.
Yeah.
That's messed up, lady.
But he's
Nobody want to hear this damn letter.
He's
You need a new
following this
church.
pastor.
Yeah, you
yeah.
absolutely need a new
And the
church.
Bible clearly states don't follow men. You know, you
Yeah,
gotta
you need a new
go
church
with God's
home.
power. You know, not man's wisdom. Come on.
But it does explain why Jesus never got married. It does explain a lot of that.
He
right
was
there.
single.
Jesus
I ain't
figured it
finna
out.
do it.
Wow. Yeah, this
Stay away from
Now,
me.
that's crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah,
Like
that don't
Steve
make
said,
no
he's looking
sense.
for a way out. He found it, and he.
No,
gonna use
seriously.
it.
When the pastor came up with this a bad marriage, he found her out.
That was it. He
He
hit a
found her
jackpot
out.
for him.
but he's
Now
still
that
going
no
to
sex
the church.
and all that stuff,
Yeah.
yeah, but he found her out. And he gonna ride that out. Now they ain't having sex. He having sex somewhere.
He had a bad feeling about me on our wedding day.
Well,
over a
I've
year
had
ago?
that. I've had that.
All right. Thank you, guys. Post your comments on today's Strawberry Letter at Steve Harvey FM on Instagram and Facebook. And don't forget to check out the Strawberry Letter podcast on demand. Now, coming up at 46 after the hour, you know what time it is. It's time for Pimpin'.
Pimpin'.
It's week 10 with the NFL picks coming up right after this.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
All right, Pimpin', guys. Pimpin' is here with week 10 of the NFL picks. Let's go. That's how you know.
Yeah, here he come.
Oh man. What's happening? What's up, everybody?
I like how you walk to the side, Pimpin'.
Yeah.
You like that? I lead with my left shoulder. You know what I'm saying? You know, pimps come in, I don't square up like that. What's going? Hey, what's going on, Shirley? What's that?
Hello, Pimpin'. How you doing?
I know that's right. What's up, Chocolate?
What's going on, Pimpin'? How you doing?
Ain't nothing. You the man with the voices after my heart. What's up, Junior?
Pimpin', my hero, man. I love when you show up, boy.
Oh, your voice just do it to me, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh, it's perfect. It's got pimp wrote on over it.
I'm gonna get that one day, Pimp.
Yeah. Boy, you a pimp in training. Ain't no doubt about that. What's up? Hey, Jay, what's happening, man?
What's up, Pimpin'? You sharp today, man. Oh.
You know what?
Whoa.
I figured I'd do this, just for in between. I had to do it now because if I do it around Christmas, people gonna get a little ticked off. I found out because that Peter is out there. Peter's the people with the ethical treatment of animals. But I'm scared of people with the ethical treatment of people. That's what I'm scared of. Because this coat right here gonna bring that group out.
Yeah, what is that?
Right. What is that?
Yeah, you ain't never seen this before, you.
What is it?
Yeah.
What is it, Pimpin'?
My entire coat is this here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one you're wearing.
Is made out of elves.
What? Elves.
Did you hear Tommy? Uh-oh. Did you hear Tommy?
I know he upset because them was his people. But I couldn't help it, man.
Coat made out of hell.
Yeah, these is elves.
Ah.
Just little ass elves, man. I got about, it took about 60 of them to make this coat.
Well, you done stole
you're going to get some calls on that
You
one.
done stole Christmas.
All right. Take us to break.
Take us out, Pimpin'.
Okay. We'll be right back with the NFL picks.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
All right. Come on, Pimpin' with that
I'm
coat.
back. What's up? Oh, thank you, Shirley. It took 75 elves to make this coat. But I want you to know something though. You know, I'm like I'm ethical, so they was like, oh, elves. They was almost out of there.
They was almost out of there.
All right, Pimpin, let's go, big dog. You ready? Baltimore Ravens will be in Cincinnati playing the Bengals.
Baltimore over the Bengals. Bengals ain't gonna win no games this year. They worse than the Browns.
Detroit Lions headed to Chicago to play the Bears.
Oh, that's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be. I got to go with Detroit though.
Okay, Detroit it is. New York Giants are in New York playing the Jets.
Ain't that a worthless game right now? Who finna watch that game?
Somebody at New York is
York
gonna watch that game.
Probably
All of New York.
Jets got more to prove. I'm gonna go with the Jets.
Jets it is. All right. Kansas City Chiefs on their way to Tennessee to play the Titans.
Kansas City, even without Mahomes.
That's right, baby. Arizona Cardinals headed to Tampa Bay to play the Buccaneers.
Yeah, they gonna get them. You know, Jameson down there, I don't know what he doing. You can't be doing that good. Anytime you named after a liquor, no chance. You didn't even think of that, did you?
No, Pimpin.
Jameson, yeah. All he needed some ginger beer. He be good, yeah.
Atlanta Falcons on their way to New Orleans to play the Saints. That's a rivalry.
Atlanta Falcons gonna play the Saints. That ain't no rivalry. That's an ass whooping. That's the Saints. I don't know how good the Atlanta Falcons ain't been good ever since. You know when they stopped playing back good? When Julio lost that earring in the water and had them scuba divers down there looking for it.
Yeah.
They ain't won a game since.
Miami Dolphins on their way to Indianapolis to play the Colts.
Oh, they done won a game, but it's over with. Hope you enjoyed it. Broussard and the Colts.
L.A. Rams headed to Pittsburgh to play the Steelers.
Damn, I sure hope the Rams beat the Steelers so we can at least have a chance.
Who is we?
Brown.
Don't see right there.
You don't
See your aggressive tone. Your aggressive tone ain't necessary. Pimps don't use aggressive tone. Short people do. I found out.
Rams or
You're
Steelers?
Because you
Let's
ain't
go.
tall. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm gonna go with the Steelers, even though I don't want to.
Pittsburgh it is. Carolina Panthers on their way to Green Bay to play the Packers.
They gonna lose when they get it. It's too cold.
All right, Packers it
Cam
is.
ain't back yet, but he already dressing like Katharine Hepburn, so he might put that.
Minnesota Vikings headed to Texas to play the Cowboys.
To the Cowboys, don't man. Damn.
Come on, you gotta get. They won last week. Now you gotta get.
They showed this Cowboys against who?
Minnesota Vikings.
Minnesota.
Yep.
I hate to do this, but I'm gonna say the Cowboys.
Yes, sir. All right, this is the one you've been waiting on, Pimpin'. Buffalo Bills headed to Cleveland to play the Browns.
Oh man, see now this is cold. Because in the draft last year, I thought the Browns should have took Saquon Barkley first, and then Josh Allen with the third or fourth pick, whatever they had. That's what I wanted them to do. And they'd have had it. We went and got Baker. Now, we were cool with Baker, but he ain't won a game since we got cool with him. But I think it's the coach, though. The coach got to go. It ain't Baker, it's the coach.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, Monday Night Football, Seattle versus San Francisco, real quick.
Oh, man. Upset Seattle finna knock them off. In an upset. Watch this here. Upset game of the week. I've been right every week.
Thank you, Pimpin'. Coming up, more music, some trending topics at 20 minutes after.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
All right.
Pimpin'. Man, I'm loving that elf
I'm
coat.
still here.
Man, I love that elf coat, man. Yeah, I love it, man.
Ain't it nice?
It's nice, boy. Nice.
Nobody would have ever thought to make a coat out of elves.
You got that right.
And that's why I know that group, normally they call them PETA, people with the ethical treatment of animals. These is people. These is people with the ethical treatment of people. And just on behalf, so they don't come down here and try to come down on me hard, here's what I did. The 72 elves that it took to make this coat.
72?
72 elves to make this coat. I put them all on a milk carton so they families would feel like, we care. Even though you ain't gonna find them, that way you keep hope alive. You wait on Christmas once a year. Wait on their ass to reappear.
Do you have
that
more
rhyme.
milk?
Check this out.
What'd you say?
Yeah.
Hold up. You ain't catch that rhyme, did
Come
you?
on, Pimpin.
Wait on Christmas once a year. Well, why not wait on them to reappear? Got them elves on the milk carton. And I save money too. Since they short, I put 4 elves on each milk carton.
All right, coming up, we got more of the Steve Harvey Morning Show and trending news at 33 minutes after the hour.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
Well, T.I.'s entire family turned into a trending topic when he revealed a very questionable parenting strategy. Tip talked on the Ladies Like Us podcast about the length he goes to help make sure his 18-year-old daughter Deja remains a virgin. T.I. says that he and his daughter take yearly trips to the gynecologist to check her hymen to see if it's still intact. T.I. is still facing some backlash on social media for his comments, and people are saying T.I. is controlling. Or would he give the same scrutiny to one of his sons of the same age?
That's going to be different.
And why is that different? It's a double standard. So do you guys, all of you guys, have daughters, with the exception of you, of course, Junior?
Yeah.
So there's a double standard of parenting boys and girls, and there always has been. What do you guys think?
That's a lot. I mean, that is...
The conversation with my son is totally different from the conversation with my daughter.
You have with your daughter, right?
I'm very protective of her, so that's going to be different. Not that I'm not protective of my son. That's two different conversations.
Yeah. And that's the whole point of the question, the double standard.
Because sometimes men have the attitude that they applaud little boys or boys in terms of their escapades, and then very protective of girls. So it is a double standard. Yeah.
And why is that?
I couldn't tell you. It started long before me, Shirley. So
and why is that? And do you think that?
I didn't just start it.
Go ahead.
I don't know. I don't really care about what comment T.I. made. I really don't.
Mm-hmm. Those are his daughters.
I kind of took it as a tongue-in-cheek type thing he was doing. But if it is the reality of what he does, I mean,
that's his
who
parent.
am I?
Mm-hmm.
Who am I? That's how he chooses to parent. But, you can't watch them always, and, they're going to leave the house. And when they leave the house, they're going to make decisions, man. And and to the best of your parenting ability, what I've had to learn over the years is when one of my kids make a mistake, I also remember the fact of how many I made.
Yes.
I think of how many I made, and then I immediately start to understand that they're going to make them too. And they can go against the very best of your parental skills and teachings.
You're right.
They just making that decision, and there's nothing you can do about it. So I'm not really mad at what T.I. said at all. I've never done that, but, if that's his thing, man, I mean, go ahead.
Can I speak on behalf of a lot of ignorant men, maybe? Who is Hyman? Who is Hyman? Who is he? Who is Hyman?
I thought I couldn't be topped that stupid boy. That boy that stepped up in there now.
But he's on your team. He's the president and
CEO
on my team. Of your team.
Who is this guy Hyman? And what is he doing in the room?
Some of us need to go back to health class.
He missed that whole week.
Yeah.
All right, coming up, our last break of the day, our last break of the week, and some closing remarks from the one and only Steve Harvey right after this at 49 minutes after.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
All right, Steve, here we are, last break of the day, last break of the week. This is Friday.
It's
Good Friday.
The last break of the day.
I love it when you do that. It's been a good Friday, though.
It is.
Thank you guys for joining us and just riding with us every day. We appreciate that. Mm-hmm. All right, Steve, we're going to hand it over to you. Take us out of here.
Some encouraging
for the
words,
weekend.
bro.
Closing remarks.
Just want to talk to everybody today about success and some of the steps that you have to take. Now, listen to me. I'm going to use some negative terms or some terms that require a little bit of positive thought put behind it. But this is very important on your way to success. I hear a lot of people complaining about success and what it is, but I want to ask you a question. I thought I'd phrase it to you this way. If you wrote on a piece of paper everything you wanted, if you wrote on a piece of paper everything you imagined, if you wrote on a piece of paper be as descriptive as you possibly can as to what the ingredients would be for you to have the life of your dreams, I want you all to write this on a piece of paper. I want you to take your time. The objective for you is, if you're not overly successful, I want you to put just 200 things on a piece of paper that you would like to have in life, and be as specific as you possibly can. What type of car? How many cars? What colors would the cars be? How many houses? Would you have a summer home? Where would you like for it to be? How much would you like to have in the bank? How much would you like to have in retirement? How much would you like to set aside for your grandkids? Anything you can imagine for yourself. How many suits, if you could have them, how many suits would you have? How many dresses? Ladies, how many pair of shoes would you have? What type of bag would you carry? If you really was no limit, if you just wrote down everything you could imagine you could have to make your life the life of your dreams. I want you to put that piece of paper together. Take your time. It'll take you some time. It takes people sometimes weeks to come up with 200 things. Some people get to 50, 75, and they get stuck. All right, when you get the list, I want you to do this. I want you to sit down, and if you imagine everything on that list as yours and has the real possibility of happening. Now, depending on how much faith you're willing to put on it, everything you imagine you can have. If you can see it, you can achieve it. And so you got to understand from that. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, everybody imagine that everything you put on your paper has a very, very strong possibility of happening, which is, I'm telling you, a true story. Now, with all that in mind, let me ask you a few questions. Are you willing to be uncomfortable to have everything that's on that paper? Are you willing to be inconvenienced to get everything that's on that paper? Would you do a series of things you didn't care for if you thought the end results would get you everything that's on that paper? Would you be willing to work with people that you don't like working with to accomplish everything that's on that paper? How about this? Would you be willing to give up a few things that you've already accomplished in order to have all of the things on that paper? Are you willing to give up anything you already have to get what's on that paper? Are you willing to have people say things about you that's not true, but even when they get through saying it, you still have the very strong possibility of getting everything on that paper? Are you willing to be ridiculed, talked about, laughed at, snickered behind your back, people getting together who you thought were your friends only to find out they not your friends because of the things you got on your list? Are you willing to put all that up if you could have everything that's on that list? All right, now, are you ready for this? In order to have everything on that list, all of those things will probably happen to you. If you are wanting everything that's on that list and you are steadfast trying to accomplish it, all the things I just mentioned will probably happen to you. These are a few of the sacrifices you have to be willing to make in order to become the successful person that's on your paper. Your paper should not look just like anybody else's, because God has you on a very unique path. So how he's going to get you there will be very uniquely yours. That's why I say all the time, God loves us so much, and we're so special to us, to him, that he don't even give any two people the same fingerprint. And the blueprint to your life, he most certainly don't have the same two blueprints available for nobody. But in order to get the life that you want on your paper, to make your dreams come true, your visions come true, that you're driving what you want to drive, you're going to have to be willing to be inconvenienced, uncomfortable, talked about, working with people you don't enjoy. You're going to have to be willing to care for things at times when you really, really don't. That's what it takes to become successful. Make up in your mind that these are the things you're willing to put up with in order to be successful, and work hard, and your dreams will come true. That's the truth. Those are my closing remarks. Hey, what I tell y'all, have yourself a great weekend.
Drop
I told
it, baby.
You.
Yes.
God loves you, man. Bye, everybody.
For all Steve Harvey contests, no purchase necessary, void where prohibited. Participants must be legal U.S. residents at least 18 years old unless otherwise stated. For complete contest rules, visit SteveHarveyFM.com.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.